What if adversity didn't just make you stronger, but actually made you better? In life, some things break under pressure, others withstand it. But the rarest things, like the human mind, can actually grow stronger from it. Think about it. Glass shatters under pressure, rubber bends but stays the same. But what if you could be like fire, where every challenge fuels you, making you burn even brighter? This is called being anti-fragile. It's like, think about it. A muscle doesn't get bigger from just sitting there, right? You gotta hit it with some resistance, some stress, to force it to adapt and grow. That's kinda how anti-fragility works, but for your whole being, man. Unlike resilience, which is about surviving stress, anti-fragility is about thriving because of it. But how do you train your mind and body to turn obstacles into fuel for greatness? Let's break down the science behind becoming anti-fragile and how you can rewire yourself to dominate in any situation. So, we're talking about anti-fragility, right? This whole concept, it's like a superpower, man. It's about not just surviving the punches life throws at you, but actually getting stronger because of them. The term itself, anti-fragile, it was coined by this brilliant dude, Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He's a statistician, risk analyst, like a professional paranoid, you know? But he's onto something with this. Taleb says there are 3 types of systems: fragile, resilient, and anti-fragile. Fragile things, they crumble under pressure. Think about a thin wine glass, right? One wrong move and it's shattered. Then you got resilient things. They can handle the stress, but they don't really change much. Like a rubber ball, you bounce it, it bounces back, same as it was before. But anti-fragile things, man, they're different. They don't just withstand the pressure, they get better because of it. It's like they feed off the chaos. And you see this everywhere in nature. When you work out, your muscles break down, but they rebuild stronger. That's anti-fragility in action. Look at bones, right? You put them under stress. Like when you lift weights, they get denser, stronger. Or the immune system. You get exposed to a virus, your body fights it off, and bam, you're more immune next time. Even civilizations, man, they can be anti-fragile. Think about major historical crises, like wars or natural disasters. They're devastating, no doubt. But they also force societies to adapt, to innovate, to come out the other side stronger than before. And that's what we're talking about here. It's about tapping into that anti-fragile potential that's within all of us. Right now, are you just surviving challenges or using them to make yourself unstoppable? So, we know anti-fragility is this badass concept, right? But it's not some mystical thing. It's rooted in science, man. Straight up biology, neuroscience, psychology, the whole shebang. Let's break it down. First up, we got this thing called Hormesis. It's a big word, but it's actually a simple concept. It means that exposure to small doses of stress can actually be beneficial for you. Think about it like this. You go to the gym, you lift weights, you're putting your muscles under stress, right? But that stress is what makes them grow back stronger. Same thing happens at the cellular level. Small doses of toxins, for example, can actually stimulate your body to build up stronger defenses. It's like giving your immune system a little workout. And it's not just toxins. Exercise itself is a hormetic stressor. So is cold exposure. Intermittent fasting too. All these things, they challenge your body in a good way, forcing it to adapt and become more resilient. Exercise, particularly weightlifting and high-intensity training, creates micro tears in muscle fibers, triggering repair processes that make them stronger and more efficient. Cold exposure, such as ice baths or cold showers, activates brown fat, enhances circulation, and conditions the body to tolerate stress more effectively. Intermittent fasting induces mild nutrient deprivation, which stimulates autophagy, a cellular repair process that removes damaged cells and activates longevity-related genes. Studies show that controlled stressors, like fasting or cold showers, activate survival pathways that enhance endurance and longevity. What's one small discomfort you could expose yourself to daily to toughen up? Then, there's neuroplasticity. This is how your brain rewires itself in response to new experiences and challenges. Your brain rewires itself under pressure, forming new neural pathways that make you mentally tougher. Every time you learn something new, every time you step outside your comfort zone, you're literally changing the physical structure of your brain. You're forging new neural pathways, making those connections stronger. And the more you challenge yourself, the more adaptable your brain becomes. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's command center, strengthens through problem solving and uncertainty. You get better at learning, better at problem solving, better at handling stress. Training your brain for antifragility means intentionally exposing yourself to controlled stresses that force adaptation and growth. Stepping outside your comfort zone daily, whether through physical challenges, intellectual debates, or social interactions, strengthens mental resilience. Solving problems under pressure, such as working in high-stress environments or handling unexpected setbacks, rewires your brain to stay calm and adaptable. Learning to embrace failure instead of avoiding it stimulates neuroplasticity, helping you process mistakes as learning opportunities rather than setbacks. By consistently facing and overcoming small difficulties, you train your mind to become stronger, more adaptable, and ultimately anti-fragile. Studies show that elite athletes, Navy SEALs, and high-level entrepreneurs all have one thing in common. Their brains thrive on stress instead of breaking under it. And then, of course, there's the psychological aspect. We've all heard of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, right? But what about post-traumatic growth, PTG? It's a real thing, man. People go through incredibly difficult experiences, things that would break most people, and they come out the other side stronger, wiser, more compassionate. They've been through the fire and emerged transformed. Unlike PTSD, which weakens the mind, PTG forces a mindset shift that increases resilience and problem-solving abilities. People who experience post-traumatic growth, PTG, possess traits that help them transform adversity into personal development. They find meaning in difficult experiences by reframing failures as opportunities for learning and self-improvement. Instead of seeing setbacks as purely negative, they extract valuable lessons and use them to fuel growth. Their mental flexibility allows them to adapt quickly to change, shifting perspectives and adjusting to new realities without becoming overwhelmed. Additionally, they become more risk tolerant, understanding that failure is an essential part of success. By taking calculated risks and embracing challenges, they continue to evolve, becoming stronger and more resilient with each experience. Think of a past failure. Instead of seeing it as a loss, ask, what did it train me for? People who actively reflect on hardships and extract meaning from them experience higher levels of resilience and emotional intelligence. So, it's not just about physical strength, it's about mental and emotional strength too. It's about building up that inner fortitude, that ability to handle whatever life throws at you and come out swinging. Alright, so we've talked about what antifragility is. We've looked at the science behind it. Now let's get practical. How do we actually apply this to our own lives? How do we become more anti-fragile? It's like training for a fight, right? You don't just walk into the ring unprepared. You train, you spar, you get used to getting hit. You gotta stress your system to make it stronger. And the same goes for life. You gotta stress your system, expose yourself to challenges in order to build up that anti-fragile armor. One way to do this is through something called stress inoculation. Basically, you're exposing yourself to controlled doses of stress, kind of like a vaccine. You're training your mind and body to stay calm and collected under pressure. This could involve things like engaging in difficult workouts, pushing yourself physically. It could mean putting yourself in uncomfortable social situations, forcing yourself to confront those social anxieties. Or it could be as simple as practicing mindfulness meditation, learning to control your breath and quiet your mind in the midst of chaos. Identify one situation that makes you uncomfortable. Expose yourself to it until it no longer controls you. Elite military forces use stress inoculation training to prepare soldiers for high-pressure combat situations. Another key is to embrace chaos. I'm not talking about creating unnecessary drama in your life, but rather developing a mindset where you're not afraid of uncertainty or setbacks. The Stoics, those ancient Greek philosophers, they were all about this. They believed in accepting what you can't control and focusing on what you can. Stoicism teaches you to control your response, not external events. Anti-fragile people see challenges as essential for growth, not threats. A big part of this is practicing voluntary discomfort. This could mean taking cold showers, sleeping on the floor, fasting for extended periods. It sounds kind of crazy, right? But the idea is to intentionally put yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you build up a tolerance for discomfort. It's also crucial to adopt a "what can I learn" mindset. Reframe struggles as training. When you face a setback, instead of getting all bummed out, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to grow? Instead of why me, ask, how is this making me stronger? Detach yourself from comfort. The more you rely on luxury, the weaker you become. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to expect difficulties, not fear them. Are you reacting to challenges or using them to forge a stronger version of yourself? Remember, every challenge, every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. And finally, build optionality. This means having multiple streams of income, multiple skills, multiple backup plans. The more options you have, the harder it is for failure to break you. It's about not putting all your eggs in one basket. That way, if one thing goes wrong, you're not completely screwed. You've got options, you've got flexibility, you're adaptable. Anti-fragile businesses like Amazon and Google thrive because they constantly adapt, experiment, and pivot quickly. So, seek discomfort, embrace challenges, and always be learning and growing. Because the more you challenge yourself, the stronger you become. Bottom line, instead of fearing stress, train yourself to thrive in it. The more you challenge yourself, the more anti-fragile you become. Start today and watch yourself transform into someone who doesn't just endure challenges, but dominates because of them. Identify one uncomfortable area in your life. Instead of avoiding it, dive into it. Use it to train for something bigger. That's how you become anti-fragile. See you next time. Keep watching MedGroww and take care of yourself.